from the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com. You're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
All right, it's the Bryan and Vinny Show here. It is Sunday, October 13, 2019, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. As we talked about last week, Sundays are now the granny night here on the program, and then we do whatever we want. Sometimes NWA, sometimes Superstars, probably going to alternate back and forth. Had people requesting NWA Power. I don't think that one's going to happen. We'd have to watch it every week because otherwise we'd fall way behind.
I watched like 20 minutes of it.
You only got through 20 minutes?
I had other stuff to do. I have a lot of wrestling to watch, a lot of other stuff going on in my life. I enjoyed what I saw.
I got through 20 minutes and couldn't wait to see the rest. Yeah. That was the best show. That was the best wrestling show of the week, I think. At least it was as of Tuesday. NXT and AEW ended up pretty damn good.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So anyway, Granny's going to join us. We'll do her deal. And then this week, it is NWA World Championship Wrestling. The week they were signed, or they were sold to Turner. It's all changing as of this week. Just like it is here in 2019. What an irony.
Everything changes.
So stand by, everybody. Let's get Granny here on the line. All right, we're back here on the show. Granny's joining us here today. She made sure to wish Vinny a very happy birthday off the air, as opposed to doing it here on the air. It was his birthday, Granny, 3 days ago. 10/10.
Oh.
Easy to remember.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Just like Hanale's birthday, 9/19/19. How could I ever forget that?
It's a palindrome.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there you go. What's going on, Granny? You said you were tired.
Well, I was gone every day this week. And then, yesterday was a busy day with going to Linda's and then coming over to take over your book thing.
The book signing, yeah.
Yeah. And then this morning we went to your house and had fun there. And then Lynn and I decided to go to the casino.
That's right. I reminded Granny that we had our show tonight and she had to watch wrestling. And she said, oh, my God, I've got to go to the casino. I hope I'm back by 9:30.
We didn't get back till, what time did I send you a message?
Like 7:30 or something like that.
We left. I sat at one machine all day.
Wow. Well, did you win anything?
Well, let's put it this way. I came home with more money than I left with.
So you robbed a man.
You either robbed somebody or you won.
I won some.
Okay. Very good.
I don't like gamblers that say, oh, I won this much money, because you don't really know. You take so much and then you win. And so I'm just saying I came home with more than I left with.
What do you mean you don't know if you won?
Well, because I'm not sure what I took with me.
Ah, okay.
Well, how do you know you came back with more then if you don't know how much you took with you?
Well, I know approximately.
So you should approximately know that you won money.
I know. I said I won.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know exactly how much.
Well, did you have fun at everything that you went to? Did you have fun at the harvest party and the book signing?
Everything was fun.
The party today?
Yep, everything was fun.
Do you realize that I did a book signing yesterday for a book called 100 Things WWE Fans? 100 Things WWE Fans should know and do before they die. And of everybody that showed up, I think one person actually watched modern WWE.
Oh, hey, how about that?
That's crazy.
I just realized the book is gone. It used to be here in front of your face.
Well, I redesigned everything, but yeah, I'll put it back later.
All
right, Granny. Well, what do we have for the Facebook thing today?
Oh, we got a bunch of questions.
I can't wait.
44.
44.
Uh-huh. And I made some notes on answers, so...
Oh, she prepped.
Wow. I
yeah.
can't wait to see you try to
Everything
find-
changes, Brian. Granny prepped for
Well,
questions this
now
week.
it's going to be like, Vinny, you're reading them in the wrong order. I've got to
That's
find
right.
my comments here through my messages.
Yeah, he probably won't read a one that I have answers for.
He probably, well, we're doing that on purpose, Granny. All right, Vinny, let's do this.
Let's begin. Tim Page asks, have you ever eaten an ostrich burger?
Do you need your notes for that answer?
No, I didn't have a note for that one. I didn't even read that one.
Well, have you ever had an ostrich burger? You don't have to
No.
read it to answer the question.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Any of you guys?
I never had an ostrich burger. I had ostrich like a sausage snack once.
Wow, was it good?
It tasted like any sausage snack you've ever had in your life. It was some meat with a lot of spice and fat.
It was funny as I went to Safeway today, and Whitney's mom is here, and she wanted a chicken thigh and a chicken leg.
All right.
So I was going to the store.
Cooked or not?
Like the fried chicken. So I go there, and I said, can I get one chicken leg and one chicken thigh? They told me, it's cheaper to get 2 chicken legs and 2 chicken thighs. I said, okay, give me 4 pieces of chicken for less than the price of 2. And they did.
Wow.
What a great store.
Yeah.
You should have gotten 8.
Yeah, and then the
Would
lady,
have been free.
Then the lady's like, do you ever eat chicken on Mondays? And I was like, well,
I might now.
I mean, why do you ask? Oh, Mondays. Mondays you can get 12 pieces of chicken for $4.99. It's usually $7.69. In case you feel like some chicken.
Why don't you mention the store as long as you're plugging everything here?
Safeway.
Safeway, okay.
I think it's like
You
any
did say that.
Safeway.
You did say Safeway.
She was like so into getting me there on a Monday to get the deal on the chicken after giving me another deal on chicken. So anyway, if you want some cheap chicken, everybody, Safeway is the place to go. On Monday.
I got dozen eggs at Hagen's for $1.
Eggs are good.
Did you check like the expiration date and if they were
Oh, come on.
unbroken? Actually, I did have the guy also at the Safeway explain to me that if you go to the back of the store, at the very top right, there's the value eggs or something like that. It's like whenever like eggs break, they take the other eggs and they put all of the eggs into another carton or something like that. And you
right.
can get this carton for like $1 or something.
Okay.
Well, these weren't broken, and they were nice.
No, you
and
get the
fresh.
non-broken ones, Granny.
They were nice and fresh.
Repopulate them in another container.
Dennis Spawn wants to know, what do you want for your birthday?
Everyone to show up at her party.
Just everybody, yeah. Everybody show up at my party.
I could have told you that.
All right, Dennis, pack your bags. Nathan Cox wants to know, have you ever seen any Monty Python? If not, what is your favorite British TV show or movie?
Can't believe you read that.
Did you have to read that one, Vinny?
You don't have to answer. It's your show. God, everyone's mad at me now.
I don't know.
Okay, then the answer is you don't know.
Hey, you know, speaking of Granny's birthday, one of the people that showed up at the book signing was a fellow who works at McMenamin's and was the same guy that booked Granny's room for her birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you hassle him about getting your own room there?
No, but we've had discussions. We'll see how things turn out.
Nikki said she did it over the internet or over the.
Well, she talked to a person. She talked to this fella.
She said she didn't.
Well, she's lying.
Oh, okay, if you say so.
I mean, maybe she emailed and he was the one that did all the...
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Yes, yes.
Andrew Caruth wants to know, what is your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Just desserts.
Yeah, that's for you, Brian.
See?
Just dessert
Guilt.
for you. Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Okay.
What kind of cheesecake? Aren't there multiple kinds?
It's all sweet. Oh,
Just the regular plain.
you can't get plain cheesecake.
Well, yeah.
No.
I don't want not chocolate.
No blueberry or raspberry.
Nope, just a plain
Just
cheesecake.
plain cheesecake. Nothing wrong with that. Johnny Malice asks, would you rather be a penguin swimming about in the sea but you can't fly, or a flying fish who can leap out of the water?
I almost X'd that one out.
Really?
That's way
one?
too dumb for Granny.
All right.
Meanwhile, she loves The Undertaker.
I don't get it.
I don't know why that one upsets you so much, Granny.
Well, because it didn't make sense to me.
Okay. Would you rather be a bird or a penguin? Or a fish?
Neither one.
Okay. She doesn't want to be an animal, Vinny. She wants to be Granny.
I didn't ask the question.
Okay. Well, tell that guy.
I actually did ask the question.
You
but
did
it
ask the
wasn't
question.
mine.
And we are killing the messenger.
Paul Ryan McPherson asks, and I'm sure you've had this before, what is the best concert you've ever been to?
Well, I don't know if you could call it a concert. I'd have to say,
The Sermon on the Mount?
no. I don't think I've been to one.
Danny.
I guess you can't call it a concert.
I'd have to call it Danny.
Yeah, what about Danny?
Danny the Elvis impersonator.
Wait a second, Grady. Didn't you say that when you used to go to the Evergreen State Fair, you would, like, listen to the concerts?
Well, I didn't know if you could call that a concert or not. I thought the concert was where you have a big crowd and everybody goes wild.
If there's a person...
Is that one of the requirements? Everyone must go wild?
That's
So
what I
do not
thought
go to a class. The classical music, you cannot have a concert.
Because if it's Danny, I've been to a lot of his.
I think it's...
So nobody goes wild at Danny's?
No.
Wow. I
Especially-
hope he's not listening.
Especially if it's at the senior center.
What a
That's
horrible...
only so wild they can go, Brian.
Yeah.
It'll be a
'cause
tragedy.
people are so old they can't even raise their arm.
Okay, hold on a second, Granny. I don't want to derail the show or anything like that, but
God forbid.
there was a talk about whales at the senior center that Whitney did, okay?
Yeah.
So Paisley and I went to the senior center, and we walked around the senior center for an hour. There was a pickleball tournament taking place at the senior center, and these old people were killing it at pickleball. Like, if Vinny and I showed up to be a team, we'd have been smashed by these old people. So don't tell me that nobody can move at the senior center.
Okay, I was just kidding.
That's what I thought. Go ahead, Vinny.
Guillermo Marquez asks, how was the book signing, and did you ask Brian any questions?
Nope. Everybody else was too busy talking.
Just did a fun little Q&A. Talked about everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wrestling, best restaurants in Bothell, all sorts of things.
Cool. Top fan Chris Sands asks, did Brian charge you for a copy of the book?
Yes.
No, I didn't. Get out of here.
No, he didn't.
Preet Paul, a top fan, wants to know who is your all-time favorite Seattle Mariner?
Griffey.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
She will not know that answer or that one. I'll skip that. Adam Craven asks, with your birthday coming up, what is your favorite present you have received so far?
Oh, in my lifetime?
I guess so.
Oh,
I don't think
well,
you've got any presents yet for this upcoming
Well,
birthday.
anyway, in the past, the kids got me plane tickets to different places, and they bought me a...
One way?
No.
That was a good one, Vinny.
Just checking.
Yeah, that was a good one. And a TV,
Oh. Yeah.
and all kinds of good stuff.
Didn't I give you that little TV?
No, I think you all got together on that.
Okay.
And then my little heater just that was Mother's Day, though, I think. My little
We're all
heater.
looking at you, Ken.
Okay, got lots of good stuff.
Is everything still working okay? All right.
Yep.
I was at Fred Meyer tonight and just happened to walk through the electronics department, and I saw what TVs cost now and the quality of TV you get for that price now. And compared to what I bought, last time I actually bought a TV was like a decade ago, but I should have waited. I should have gone without a TV for 10 years and bought one now.
Our TV downstairs is so horrible,
That's true.
which should actually tell you the extent of my...
There's like burn-in.
Yes,
like
it's-
if the screen, if you go like the menu of anything, and it's supposed to be a white background.
Yes.
Like the whole top third is just purple.
Now, one of the keys, by the way, to this is that's not that old a television. So, like, you can get a new television super cheap, but you're going to get another new television super cheap in like 4 years.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like the old days where you could buy a TV and you could probably still watch it.
We had a TV that I think, repaired like every 6 months. It would just stop turning on. And for a while, you could whack it really hard on the side. It would turn on. And after a while, that wouldn't work. I'm not making any of this up. This is a routine. My parents never bought a new TV. They just pay to get it repaired every 6 months.
My point is I can't figure out why I haven't bought a new TV for down there yet. I guess because I never watch TV down there.
And Whitney and the baby don't care.
They don't even notice.
Brian, I didn't say anything wrong with it.
Well, Granny, you're 89.
You have to remind me.
You're 90 next month.
I have a TV I'd like to get rid of, but it's one of those old-fashioned ones.
Tube TV.
It's got a tube in it. The tube might be valuable.
Well, not that old, but close to it.
Do you know how many years it was before when you could even tell the difference between HD and standard definition?
I understand.
Yes.
It's bizarre to me.
It's fascinating.
I was invited once to my in-laws' Super Bowl party, and I showed up, and they had just bought a big. This is also 10 years ago, so it's not as good as the TVs you see today, but still a big 4.5 foot screen, flat panel TV, which is the cutting edge thing at the time, and they had the channel tuned to standard def. Why did you even buy this if you're just going to put it on this channel? I don't understand. Top fan Aaron Ogg wants to know, is Bryan paying you book sale royalties for the book reports you present weekly?
Nope, but I'm not having one
kidding
today.
me?
I'm not having one today because I did it yesterday.
What?
That was my book report yesterday.
At the book signing?
You didn't say anything about the book yesterday.
I know, but I still say that's my...
Oh, you being there was your contribution?
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Thank you.
Top fan Kevin Ryan Stanfield wants to know, who was the first person you ever voted for, assuming you've ever voted?
I think it was Truman.
I was going to make a joke.
That was funnier than any joke.
But actually, the truth is...
Saying Lincoln would have been funny, but the actual answer may have been funnier.
Yes.
Why?
Well, Truman
Because that was a long time ago,
I
Granny.
know it was.
Truman. 33rd President of the United States.
33rd?
Presidential... He was elected president in... Well, his term began April of 1945.
My mother wasn't born yet.
My father
My
was born
father
in
was
49, yes.
barely born. That's why it's funny. All right, let's do two more.
All right. This is a good one. Kevin Banks wants to know, who made you laugh the most, Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello?
I think I watched Abbott and Costello more than the other. So I'd have to say Abbott and Costello.
I was a big fan of Laurel and Hardy because you had a skinny guy and a fat guy.
So you had the same with Abbott and Costello.
I guess you did, yeah.
Yeah. I think Abbott and Costello were talkies. And I believe Laurel and Hardy were all silent.
I have to think about this. You
think
may be
that's
right.
Let's see. Last one then. Jack Little says, I seem to recall someone saying you once reviewed Survivor. Do you still watch the show? Would you consider reviewing it again?
Never watch it in my life.
All right, Jack, you heard wrong.
Yeah, Jack, you heard wrong. Let's do
Find
one more.
that person and shun them.
Wait a minute, Vinny. I want you to read the one where it says, who would I pick besides all the guys for my boys, you know what I mean? It's additional boys club or whatever.
Well, I don't think I need to read it anymore, Granny. You just read it for me.
No, I need you to read what she was trying to say right there.
I believe, Brian, this is a question from Andrew Windolf. If you could induct any wrestler other than Bryan, Filthy, Lance, or Undertaker into Granny's Boys, who would it be and why?
It would be you, Vinny.
Ah, thank you.
Wow.
That's very
Wow.
You used to be a wrestler, and I liked that outfit you had
Thank you, Granny.
with the hat and the whole bit. That was really nice.
Thank you, Granny.
That was quite an outfit.
Still got the pants.
Yeah, it was. And
Why?
I like that name too.
Nobody wants them.
You never know when WWE might call.
Hey.
NXT's coming to town. Bring those pants.
Because
Yeah,
I can't not have them, you know?
That's true. What about the boots?
I'm sure I still got this too.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the wrestling report, Granny.
Well, can I do Young and the Restless first?
Yeah, it's your show. Whatever you want.
Okay. Everybody got mad at Victor for letting them think that he was dead. And so I don't remember if I told everybody.
Logic.
Adam left town. And then Phyllis tracked him to Vegas, and she's a big troublemaker. She's trying to get him to come back and get Victor. And Victor, he didn't seem to care if everybody was mad at him, so he decided he was going to go back and be CEO. So he goes back into the to his office, and here somebody had taken a letter opener and threw it and hit him in the face at the with his picture. And that was his daughter, Nikki, or Vicky, because she was supposed to be CEO. And so he pushed her out. And so she came in, and she told him that if he kicked her out, that she'd never speak to him again. So he changed his mind, and now she's back to being CEO.
Wow.
That's it for now.
I'm wondering how many weeks Granny's going to do this report before you and I can start figuring out what's going on.
That would take a while.
Well, there's people out
I know
there.
that Victor is like an underhanded, diabolical fella who faked his death. Like, I got that, right?
Yeah. And it was to trap his son, Adam.
Are you listening to me?
What?
I'm doing my best.
All right. Let's go ahead, Granny.
Okay.
Vinny's zoning out, so you need to do a better job.
I got to put my glasses on. I'm not going to do
You
that.
did Young and Restless with your glasses off?
I'm sure she did it from memory.
It's pretty good.
Well, I did read some, but I had some of it memorized. Okay. I finally found NXT and 205, believe it or not.
Serious question. Are they still doing 205 Live?
Yeah, Friday
Okay.
nights.
All right.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to figure out something here. Somebody sent me a message and said to watch this one show, but I've done it so long ago I can't remember.
NWA Power?
It says Niven and Gilbert.
NXT UK.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
know them?
It's NXT UK, Piper Niven,
Okay.
Jazzy.
Back punches on the shoulder.
She punched her in the back of the shoulder.
Yeah.
She punched her with her back in the shoulder.
Elbow on Piper. Standing on Phyllis. It's Piper Niven, isn't it?
Yes.
There's no Phyllis.
Yes.
There won't be a Phyllis for a long time.
Maybe there is a Phyllis. I don't know.
Back while down, pulling arm up, big head butt, sidekick came in. Someone came in and beat up and messed up the thing, but Piper won. Was it Piper Niven?
You tell me you reviewed it.
Yeah.
You know, Brian, though, since my age, I can't write too well anymore.
Oh.
That's why I have
Now, do you feel
problems.
bad, Vinny?
I do feel bad. I'm
She
sorry.
made
Granny.
fun of her.
I'm sorry, Granny.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to write.
Well,
So
I can't write well either, Granny. I'm half your
ga-
age.
I gave that a 4. And then I have Bel Air versus Tai. Is it Dakota?
Kai.
Dakota?
Dakota Kai.
Kai. Okay. Jump on Bel Air, face first into turnbuckle, innovative kick, knee chin kick.
Innovative kick.
Innovative kick. Knee kick.
Knee chin kick,
Knee chin kick.
face drop on the mat. Bel Air drops her down for the win. So Bel Air wins that for a 5. And then there's Gulak versus Rush. Some back and forth fast moves by Rush. Gulak slams Rush around. Got Rush down for a count, but Rush got his foot on the rope. Rush won by an somersault jump off the top rope to pin Gulak for the win. And was he ever excited?
Hey,
He really was.
he was the new champion.
Yeah.
He won that belt.
That was an 8.
Ooh, an
8.
8.
Well,
My
you know,
goodness.
I thought it was good too, Granny.
It was not a good match.
Yeah, me, you, Vinny. Only one that disagrees is Dave.
Oh, really?
He didn't give that an 8.
Huh, what do you give it?
I don't know.
Okay, then I've got 205 live, and I thought it said the 17th, but there isn't any October 17th yet.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Maybe you saw next week's show.
Did you look into the future?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Who's on it?
It was Gallagher and Hendrick.
Well, could be any match in the past 2
I was going to
years.
say, I think they wrestle on every 205 Live.
And Kasawa was on the side watching the whole thing.
Okay.
There were arm twist, jump on Gallagher, stand on head on.
That is this week's show, Granny. Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick, right?
Oh, that was this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gallagher stands on his head in the corner like he always does. And so he falls off and falls against the barricade. Kendrick kicks Gallagher. He falls on Kasawa outside the ring. And then they took a stick, and Gallagher has 4 or 5 back bangs. Kasawa comes in and tells Kendrick to stop with the stick, and Kendrick gets mad and hits Gallagher and Kasawa and leaves with his. Kasawa's not his friend anymore just because he's stuck
Sounds that way.
I'd say.
Yeah,
That's how you ruin a friendship. You give him 10 back bangs.
So they
with a
didn't.
stick.
Yeah, so he was mad because he came in and liked Gallagher. So, so that showed that nobody really won that one
Okay.
because Kendrick just walked off.
Yeah.
I give that a 8.
Wow.
Well, let me see what else I got here. Oh, there was a doubles match or a 4-way match. I didn't. Okay, there was Kendrick and Kasawa. Kendrick was really popular this week.
Different show, Vinny. Don't worry about
All
it.
right.
And I didn't recopy this, so be prepared.
That's why I'm asking. Because I could have sworn we just did Kendrick.
Okay,
and Tozawa.
Kendrick and Tozawa. No. The last one was Kendrick and Gallagher with
Yeah.
Tozawa in the corner. That was not this week's show. This match he's reviewing is this week's show, Kendrick versus Tozawa.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why nobody
Got it.
watches.
It says 205 Live,
Yes,
11.
this is this week, Granny.
I'm
You
sure,
got it right.
I'm sure you're right about everything, Granny.
Okay. Kendrick and Kasawa, head hits here. Here comes the sticks. Both beat up on each other with the sticks. Kasawa steps on Kendrick's stick. Bang alongside.
Breach of
the
etiquette
head.
there.
I'll say.
A gut punch. Kasawa gets stick in the rope. He gets stuck in the rope. He tries to jump out and he got stuck in the rope. Kendrick throws 4 chairs and Kasawa puts 4 chairs down and Kasawa's on face. Now he goes, Kendrick goes and gets duct tape and he taped Kasawa's arms to the rope. And then he gets underneath.
Sounds like
there.
a high-flying cruiserweight battle here.
Now he gets under there and gets a whole bunch of chairs, and he sets them in a row to throw Kasawa on. And wait a minute here. Kasawa turns tables on Kendrick.
Literally or figuratively?
Either way. And more chairs. How stupid. Both fall on all the chairs. Kendrick wins on a foul.
A foul!
On a fall.
Oh, foul.
A foul.
Oh, foul!
Because
What?
a guy came in. I thought it said his name was Chinella.
It was not Janela.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Janela.
Well, anyway, he came in and fouled things up. So I gave
Canellis!
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I just had it spelled wrong. So he spoiled things, but I still gave that a 7.
So Brian Kendrick won.
Nope.
Okay.
There was a foul.
No, it was Brian Kendrick won. There actually was no DQ in this no DQ match.
Is that the one? That's not the one where Kendrick walked off, is it?
No, that's a
No,
different one.
that's
Granny.
a different one.
Yeah.
Okay, then there was just a doubles thing with Lorcan and Birch,
Yes.
plus Nice and Gulak.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, that was a back and forth one too. And Nice and Lorcan won that one. I gave it a 5.
Wow, not bad.
That's all I have for today.
All right, Granny, fine job here. I'm glad you won some money at the casino. I'm glad you had fun this weekend. I'm glad you came to my book signing. What a fine week for you, Granny.
I guess it was, and I felt pretty good because I got lots of exercise.
You sure
Excellent.
did. You got a lot of exercise.
Yeah.
And then she tried to take off with that her cane after the book signing. We had to stop her.
I know, and
Cane's a gimmick.
And I almost fell over it. Wouldn't that
Actually,
have
you did. We had to catch you. You almost tripped and
Wouldn't
fell.
that have been funny?
That would not have been funny. My book signing led to your death.
Well, at least she has her life alert thing.
Yeah,
That's true.
get all.
She could have used her life alert in the crowd of dozens of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, spread the word. Granny fell at the book signing.
Well, you didn't, Granny.
We got a lot of reviews on that picture, Brian.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, well, that's it, Granny. We're going to let you go.
Okay, goody. Now I can go take my.
Now you can rest all the way till next Sunday.
What's next? Oh, okay. I've got things to do this week, though.
Okay, well, get doing them then.
Okay.
All right, well,
Later.
talk to you next time.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. All right, from one old thing to another, Granny to NWA World Championship Wrestling. The first week of November 1988, the company has been sold.
And it's a very different, very newsworthy show this week. But unfortunately, the news is kind of front-loaded. So the last part of this is like a waste of time. NWA World Championship Wrestling, November 5th, 1988. We open with clips of a very bloody Bobby Eaton fighting the Road Warriors. And he whips Road Warrior Animal into the corner. But then he stumbles. And as he gets to his feet, Animal flies out with a clothesline and pins him.
Yeah.
Well, not wasting any time with this week's show. No tease.
No.
No, you got to see this, folks. Just here is the news.
Well, here's the news. You're going to see the whole match later.
That is also true. Well, I guess that's a tease. But they come out right on to say it, folks. We have new World Tag Team Champions. It is the Road Warriors. And yes, that match will air in its entirety on this program, as well as Abdullah the Butcher in action on the show. Our opener is like the main event for the past 6 months in the show. Ron Simmons versus Rip Morgan of the Sheepherders.
My God, what a match. Rip Morgan's only been out there waving the flag, but I mean, it is Rip Morgan, and it is Ron Simmons, and they are two names. They're two stars.
Yeah.
They went in there and they had a match.
They had a fine little competitive match. I know we have listeners from the great nation of New Zealand. I must sit down with any of them and watch Rip Morgan do what he did before this match.
What did they say this was?
They claimed it was the haka.
Oh.
It is not. It's like they knew what the haka was, but didn't do any research into what it looked like or how it went. And keep in mind, the sheepherders are from New Zealand.
I was going to say.
But
well, it's a comedy.
I suppose. So they're having this little match. It's a fine little TV match. It's very, very, very exciting compared to all the squashes we usually get. And then when it's time for the heat, Ron Simmons whips Rip Morgan across the into the corner, and he charges to take a boot to the face. That's the spot. And he drops his arms to his side, and he leans his chin out as far as it will go, and he runs forward in that position, and he gets booted in the face. I laughed and laughed. They go to break. Morgan beats him up for a while, and then Simmons ducks a clothesline, hits a spine buster out of nowhere, which Jim Ross called the Seminole Slam. Because he played for the Florida State Seminoles. And Ron Simmons wins.
You know, this match really wasn't very good, but it was saved because both men worked really, really hard.
It wasn't good. It was fun.
Rip Morgan is a very animated fella.
Yes.
He expends a lot of energy doing nothing. I don't know how he doesn't get blown up. Ron Simmons is green, but he's a big, tough dude. They're throwing each other around. There were a couple of rest holds, but mostly they just worked. They worked and worked and worked and did the finish. And then afterwards, Sheepherders hit the ring, go after Simmons. Teddy Long just takes a bump. I don't even know why he had to. Just probably wanted to take a bump. Hot Stuff hits the ring to make the save. It's 2-on-3, advantage heels, but the baby faces still run them off.
Yes.
Because they're baby faces.
They're heroes. They overcome the odds.
It's not hard. Why do people make it hard?
I don't know. It just occurred to me. A few weeks back, we watched a Skinner promo on Superstars where Sean Mooney claimed he had to deal with the mighty Seminole Indian tribe.
Yeah.
Ron Simmons played for the Seminoles.
That's right.
They should have done a bit where he fought Skinner in the swamp.
Could have.
So, after the beating is, the brawl has commenced and the sheepherders have fled for their lives.
May I tackle this promo? I must.
It's all yours.
Ron Simmons, and correct me if I'm wrong here, he says, as long as I've been a mature man,
That's what he said.
nothing like this has ever happened to me.
That's a quote.
You've never been beat up and overpowered and outnumbered? Isn't that every Seminole game you played? You know what I'm saying?
That's 11 on 11.
So I guess so, but I mean, the point is like you eliminate part of the defense so you can...
I'm sure if he was as great a nose tackle as they all say he was and his number was retired, I'm sure he was double teamed, double blocked more than once.
Okay. So he vows revenge, and then Hot Stuff has to cut a promo. Okay? Hot Stuff says, there's something personal I'm going to tell you about Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. I grew up seeing people in Vietnam burning the flag. I could do nothing about it. I remember the flag being burned in 79 and 80 in Iraq and Iran. Now, these two men from New Zealand waving the flag. Now I can do something about it. I'm going to beat up these three sheep herders, and we're going to win the U.S. tag team titles. And I was like, you're comparing flag burning in Iraq, Iran, and the Vietnam War to the sheep herders flying the New Zealand flag?
I missed the bit where the sheep herders burned an American flag.
What? I remember I said this last week. I was like, they're acting like the sheep herders are the Russians, like we're in a Cold War with New Zealand.
Yes.
It's preposterous. Now this guy's out here comparing the sheep herders to people burning the U.S. flag during the Vietnam War.
He also explained about how they all wanted to beat up the sheep herders. And again, this is a quote. Blacks, whites, it don't matter creed nor color. They're all going for New Zealand, apparently.
New Zealand. We're at war with New Zealand.
I hope we won. I'll have to check the history
It's
book for
clearly
that
a
one.
Cold War.
I guess. So we go to wherever the building was in New Orleans, that the Midnight Express defended their World Tag Team titles against the Road Warriors. As promised, the match was shown in its entirety. They do the intros. Paul Ellering immediately jumps Jim Cornette, beats the crap out of him. Stan Lane comes to make the save, beats the crap out of Ellering, but it's Ellering taking one literally for the team because this allows the Road Warriors to double team Bobby Eaton to his doom. And they post him, and he's bleeding everywhere, and they punch him and punch him and punch him and punch him and punch him. Eventually, Stan stops beating up Ellering to help his partner, and we get Stan and Animal doing a back-and-forth competitive match in the ring. All the while, Hawk is raining down punches on Bobby's already unconscious skull on the floor. It's a massacre, a brutal, brutal massacre. Finally, Hawk stops beating Bobby to make it a 2-on-1 wrestling match. Jim Cornette lands a loaded tennis racket shot to briefly cut the Road Warriors off and give Stan a bit of a hope comeback, but he's soon overwhelmed. The beating continues. Bobby Eaton, we see him in the background, a bloody mess. He drags himself up on the apron to fight and then just collapses, unable to even stand. But then he drags himself up a second time. He tags himself in as Lane goes falling into the corner. And for 15 seconds, Bobby Eaton's the greatest babyface you ever saw. He's unloading on these monsters. He's hitting right hand after right hand after right hand. And he whips Animal into the corners, but then he can't even keep his balance anymore, and he stumbles, and that gives Animal the half a second he needs to gather himself, run out with a big clothesline, just like Nikita, actually, and he pins Bobby Eaton, and they are the new World Tag Team Champions.
Who would have ever thought the Midnight Express the greatest babyface tag team of all time?
That was, well, When you think about it.
They were fabulous.
They're great, yes. Also, the other great part about this is, if you watch this, it's very, very clear. This is an arena show. They just happened to film this one match. They may have filmed more, but Jim Ross was not calling this match live. But he was pretending he was calling this match live. And he was phenomenal. It was great. So we're back in the studio where the Road Warriors are there with their shoulder pads and their Zubaz pants and the World Tag Team Championship belts. Animal says, everyone, whenever they've needed help, they've always called us. Well, we're tired of carrying Dusty Rhodes. We're tired of carrying Sting. We're tired of carrying Lex Luger. And Hawk explains, after you're done helping everybody, when you stop helping everybody else and you help yourself, you reap the benefits. He warns Dusty Rhodes to shut his mouth and keep his nose out of their business. Paul Ellering explains the bottom line of any business is money, a lesson Vince Russo never learned. And they're wrapping things up, and Hawk, before they leave, has one last pearl of wisdom to drop. You can never lose a friend that was never one to begin with.
So what we learned here was that the NWA World Tag Team titles are worth significantly more money than the World Six-Man titles.
Yes.
And yes, they admit, it was never about friendship. It was always about the money. We used you.
Yes, yes. Russian Assassin number 1 and Russian Assassin number 2 versus Terry Jones and Brett Holiday.
So here's the thing with this. Before the match, the referee checks the masks because the Russian Assassins have been loading their masks.
A loaded headbutt.
So they check the mask. There's nothing in the mask. Later on, Paul tosses the gimmick to the Assassin behind the ref's back. Assassin loads the mask, headbutt finish, tosses the gimmick back to Paul, and that's it. So I could talk about this for hours. First off, the positive is I love that the Russian Assassins must cheat in a squash match they're completely dominating.
Of course. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Excellent heels.
Yes.
Okay. Now, obviously, shouldn't the referee go out of his way to check the mask after the match?
Well, if you check them before...
Well, you should check them before, but like, Teddy Long should go home, watch this match, and go, dude, I need to check their mask as soon as the pinfall occurs, right? Well, he's not gonna.
No.
I also love that they explain the gimmick may be a silver dollar.
Yes.
So you're telling me, like, I know that it's 2019 and a lot of you out there listening may never have seen a silver dollar before, but a silver dollar, it ain't that big. And it ain't that thick.
It ain't that heavy.
And it's definitely not that heavy. You're telling me if I put a silver dollar in my mask and headbutt somebody, it's going to do significantly more damage than if I just headbutt him? How is it going to protect me in any way? How is it going to be more dangerous? This is preposterous.
I believe that was Jim Ross just making a joke about how...
No, because they actually showed the replay, and it looked like he threw a silver dollar.
I see.
It was a little tiny silver thing.
What are you going to do?
This wrestling.
Are you suggesting it may not be on the up and up?
Yes. That's what I'm getting at.
I shall investigate further. This match went about 5 hours. It was not good enough to be fun to watch. It was not bad enough to be interesting. They just wrestled in a below average manner for a long ass time. There was one monstrous overhead press. Other than that, it's just a bunch of guys doing stuff, and they won with the headbutt thing. The announcers plugged Starrcade coming up in December, and also the road to Starrcade, Battle Stars 88.
Yeah.
Including one night, Thanksgiving night at the Omni. So there you go. You mentioned this last time, but they're not doing Starrcade at the Omni anymore. So they had to do something to make it good to the Omni, and so we have Battle Stars 88, which we still don't actually know what it is.
Well, I'll mention something else then. Bam Bam Bigelow. Remember I said how cool it was that Bam Bam Bigelow never wrestled in the studio? Mm-hmm. Well, here he is.
It was cooler when he was not here.
To face Trent Knight, and it is such a letdown. Bam Bam's doing arm holds holding down Trent Knight. This thing went way longer. When it was over, I was like, whoop-de-doo.
I wrote 8 words about this, and 2 of them were Bam Bam.
Bam Bam Bigelow. So the story is they've been building up Flair versus Bigelow, but there's a problem. Flair does not want to work with Bigelow.
Oh, that's a problem.
Because Bam Bam Bigelow, in his mind, was a mid-card guy in WWE, and if he comes in and is just beating up Ric Flair in matches and angles, that's not good for Ric Flair or the NWA title.
I see.
Plus, he thinks, well, what if this guy makes me look bad and makes the belt look bad and then quits? So Flair doesn't want to work with Bigelow. Well, they're still plugging this match.
Onward.
Onward we go. Maybe we could talk him into it.
So Bam Bam does his boring squash, and Oliver Humperdinck does a promo. He's talking about how Bam Bam is the beast of the East from Japan.
Tokyo.
So eventually, as he kept talking, I assumed that Bam Bam had been on a tour of Japan recently, which is why he had not been in the studio. Because he did say he's just flown in, and Ric Flair has had a lot to say when Bam Bam was in Japan, but has not so much to say when Bam Bam is actually here. So not only is Bam Bam apparently the top contender to the world title, he's also the top contender to the U.S. title.
How is this possible?
Is there no one else in the roster?
Apparently not.
That thin? There's 47 tag teams running around. Maybe one of them can challenge for somebody. And speaking of tag teams, in addition to challenging for the world title and the U.S. title, Humperdinck also announces that Bam Bam Bigelow will be teaming with Dusty Rhodes.
It wasn't until that moment that I realized he's supposed to be a babyface.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted.
He's a big, scary monster with tattoos everywhere, and they were zooming in on these tattoos constantly. And
I cannot wrap my head around Bam Bam Bigelow as a babyface.
It's not his best use.
Plus, I never really thought of what Beast from the East meant. I figured it meant like the East Coast.
Exactly.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Now they're telling us Beast from the East is because he's from Tokyo, Japan?
Humperdinck just made that up.
I guess. It was weird.
He was never the Beast from the East, the Far East, until right now, and he was never the Beast from the Far East again. So, yeah, Humperdinck is not even a tease. He announces the combination has been formed, Bam Bam Bigelow and Dusty Rhodes, and Bam Bam does a quick promo. He's never had a partner to watch his back like Dusty. He calls out Barry Windham. He calls out Ric Flair. So after the break, we get a Ric Flair promo. He had nothing to say.
No.
He talks about the people in the suits, the Four Horsemen fans who are there. Says he can get anyone he wants. He mentions Bam Bam Bigelow's name and then doesn't say anything about him. Says the Four Horsemen of the ideal.
Well, what he said was, these guys are cutting a promo on me, but they're crazy to think that myself or Windham are even listening.
I see. Talks about the Four Horsemen for a while, even though there's been only 2 of them now for like a month, and that was it. The Fantastics versus Gary Royal and George South.
A pretty good match. The Jobbers were better than the Fantastics.
They decided we were going to have a competitive match with Gary Royal and George South. I mean, I guess
I liked it.
I wrote, why is this competitive and why does it suck? So I guess we watched a different match here. I don't know what to tell you. The Fantastics eventually pinned South of the Cannonball, and then I added all the double team ideas they had went wrong. I don't know.
I thought it was fine.
So then the Fantastics do a promo, and they had a great idea. They're going to mock the Sheepherders. So one of them has the American flag, and he's waving it back and forth. And the other's doing the march back and forth, and then making faces and going, oh, yeah! Let me tell you something.
Never realized how talented the Sheepherders were.
Nothing gets by David Crockett. This sleuth, this gumshoe says, you guys are trying to be like the Sheepherders. Thank you, David. You cracked the code. So your point is also valid. The Fantastics are horrible Sheepherders. But they talk about how much they love the flag. They literally sing God Bless America. They vow to win the U.S. tag titles, and they imitate the Sheepherders some more. Lex Luger versus Agent Steel.
Boring match.
2 minutes, power slam, torture rack.
Dude, Luger was just out grappling him and showcasing his grappling talents early. I'm like, come on. Lock up, arm drag the guy. Walk around for a while. Lock up. Drop toe hold. Let the guy up.
Walk around for a while.
I'm like, dude, come on. I need a couple power moves in one. Then I need a boring promo.
He tells us he's feeling great.
I'm in the best condition of my life.
Makes the cameraman back up so we can see all his muscles.
Been hanging and banging.
Says the Road Warriors like to jump guys from behind. He says, you guys were in that Crockett Cup. Sting and I were in that Crockett Cup. I don't think he mentioned that he and Sting won the Crockett Cup. So he's running down this whole thing, and he's teaming with his friend Sting to face the Road Warriors. That's going to be apparently the top tag team feud. And then he's sure to add that he is still the top... Still! It's November. Still the top contender to Ric Flair, and Sting is still the top contender to Barry Windham. Pick one. Pick a direction. Ideally, the tag team thing, because you've been feuding with Flair all year.
You know, earlier in the week, Flair almost quit. Some sort of blow up with Dusty and the Crockett's. And I think it had to do with the fact that he was still wrestling Luger and still doing horrible finishes at every single arena around the country.
I mean, it makes sense. Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express come out for a promo.
It's one of the best promos in forever on this show.
Cornette begins by turning to Crockett. How many times have we come out here after a loss, and I have said to you that it was our fault we lost? It's never happened before. But I'll be the first to admit, it's our fault we lost those World Tag Team titles because we trusted the Road Warriors. We watched them stab Sting in the back, and we trusted them. We watched them stab Dusty Rhodes in the back, and we trusted them. So we trusted them for that match, and he talks about how the Road Warriors began with a cowardly attack on him. He admitted that he could not whip Paul Ellering, but Paul Ellering could not whip Stan Lane. And so Stan did the right thing by saving him and giving Ellering what he needed. But this let the big, tough, powerful Road Warriors jump Bobby Eaton and lay him out. And after the beating, he was trying to get Bobby back to the dressing room, trying to get him to seek medical attention. All the while, Stan was fighting both Road Warriors by himself like a hero. And Bobby refused. He's too tough. He's got too much fight in his little finger than you've got in your whole bodies, Road Warriors. He got up on that apron. He tagged in, and he showed more guts in losing than you ever showed in winning. And he challenged him. As soon as Bobby's ready, he challenged him to a rematch. He promises that if you want to fight dirty, we have more dirty tactics than you've ever seen. He explains that Bobby Eaton is still not ready to wrestle, and so tonight in solo action, it is Sweet Stan Lane.
You said the show was front-loaded, Vinny, but you were wrong. This was smack dab in the middle of the show, top of the second hour. Now, the Menace versus Stan Lane.
I was 13 years old when this show aired. I remember this moment vividly, this next upcoming segment, and I could have recited this, not quite word for word, but everything that happened here, it all rang a bell. So Cornette's ranting about the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors and whatever, when Shivani announces, Jimmy, we've got a phone call for you. And they bring a telephone on a cord out and they set it on the podium. And Jim's like, I can't take a call. I got a match to manage. And finally, they convince him to take this call. And he says, hello, who is this? You say that again. You say that again. You say that one more time. It is you, you little jerk. Did you call to gloat about us losing the tag titles? And he's talking to whoever the stranger is on the phone for a while. Says, anytime you and your boys want to show up, we'll settle this thing once and for all. You're a jerk, and your guys are two geeks. How does this sound? And he slams the phone down.
So when you first see it, the obvious thing you think is, it's Paul Ellering talking about the Road Warriors. But then you realize momentarily, Paul Heyman has a mobile phone.
Now, Paul E. Dangerously, as he was then known,
yes,
had been managing what they called the original Midnight Express, I believe in Memphis, maybe in the AWA, maybe both, but they had not shown up, never been mentioned in Jim Crockett Promotions since Dennis Condrey quit like 2 years ago. So this was an invasion angle. So they start peppering Cornette, who was on the phone with you? And he turns to them. I'm not going to tell you who that was. That's none of your business. And Jesus Christ! And in the ring, Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey are laying waste to the inaction Stan Lane and the inactive Bobby Eaton, just destroying them.
Bobby Eaton, by the way, who is not medically cleared to wrestle.
No, Bobby Eaton's in street clothes with his head bandaged, and they're laying waste to him. Cornette runs in to make the save. He gets laid out once and goes down and immediately gigs. He gets up again. He's already gigged. Heyman hits him with the mobile phone. And for those of you who are maybe you're very young and you don't remember, mobile phones in the 1980s were very rare. And when you saw them, they were fucking vast. It was probably more dangerous than hitting him with an actual brick.
He may have hit him with may as well hit him with a whole phone, like the telephone pole.
Phone booth, yes. So Cornette's already bleeding. Heyman hits the phone. Jim Cornette takes the biggest bump on the cement. He goes flying, hands and legs in the air.
Lands right on his hip on the cement.
Just goes crashing down. Stan's beaten. Bobby's beaten. Cornette's just massacred. And it ends with Condrey and Rose holding Cornette in the ring. He's bleeding everywhere. His jacket, of course, is white, so there's blood all over that. And Heyman is slapping him and spitting on him, and eventually they storm out. This was awesome.
Tell me about it.
Awesome.
Jim Ross is screaming at the top of his lungs, these guys don't even wrestle here.
Yes.
Cornette's out there in a white jacket. He's bleeding all over. His jacket is just covered in blood. Gigging, bumping. Paul is just... They were just all so great. And my God, Dennis Condrey's returned.
Yes.
How many years have we been waiting for this? Because we don't review the show every week. I've been waiting like 3 years for Dennis Condrey to come back.
13-year-old Vinny was beside himself when this happened.
It's
like running up and down the hallway.
Yes, the Midnights versus the Midnights has begun. Awesome. This was awesome.
Unbelievably awesome.
Show should have ended right there.
Yes. Although this next segment was also good. Eddie Gilbert versus Mike Jackson. Because Eddie Gilbert's a very good wrestler. Mike Jackson, frankly, as a wrestler, is even better. And they had a competitive match that, once it got contested, both guys got hot, turned into a bit of a fight, and then Eddie won with a hot shot out of nowhere. Now, we didn't mention this. I guess we did when Gilbert made the save for Simmons earlier. Eddie Gilbert and Ron Simmons are a team now. They are a team in the U.S. Tag Team Title Tournament. Maybe coincidence, maybe not, but they both had competitive matches on the show. When competitive matches on the show are rare. So, yeah, Eddie hit a hot shot and won, and he had already done a promo, so they did not do another one with him. It was a very good match for a absolutely nothing random TV, well, it wasn't a squash, but a random TV match. Tony Schiavone interviews Dusty Rhodes in the arena.
Yeah, this was an arena promo, and so unlike when Dusty goes to the studio, like when they go to the arenas, he's over.
Yes.
Everybody's cheering, they're going crazy for his promo. It was actually a very good promo. He did say he's cutting a promo on the Road Warriors. He calls out Animal, says he's a coward. He says there ain't a steroid running through this body, baby. Like, you had to tell me that?
He said there's not a steroid running through his body, just whiskey and fight and heart and an occasional encounter with a lady of the evening.
Excuse me?
That's what he said. Huh. American dream.
Dues will be paid in public, if you will.
Dues got to be paid in public, if you will.
He wants Hawk and Animal 1-on-1, or he'll take on both of them. Fans are going crazy for this promo. So, I guess the thing was, when they turned the Road Warriors, they figured, it's the Road Warriors. Like, the Road Warriors, half the crowd is still going to love the Road Warriors. Like, half of them are going to hate them, but, like, because they're the Road Warriors, they're so awesome. We have heel fans, like... Half the fans are going to cheer the Road Warriors. Turns out, whatever it was, when those Road Warriors turned, it was like 100% heel reaction. So Dusty, in taking on the Road Warriors, he who had been getting a lot of boos is now super over as a babyface. That's a pretty effective heel turn. People like Sting.
Abdullah the Butcher versus David Isley. So Abdullah the Butcher weighed 400 pounds. And at one point, he threw David Isley to the mat, and he stood on the man's face. Now,
He stood on his face.
he was not leaning
and his neck.
in the corner, like
No.
with his hands on the ropes. They're in the middle of the ring, and he's standing on the man's face.
Yeah.
Dude, no idea how this is not a fatality.
Stood on his face, stood on his neck, fish hooked him, posted him.
Went for the eyes, went for the nose, the fish hook, yes, posted him. I just summed it up with all sorts of violence, and then he won with a big fat elbow.
At the big fat elbow, then tries to bite his face.
Yes, because he's an out of control monster. Gary Hart must subdue him, and he does so by throwing a hood over him to calm him down, like a wild beast. That hood is a subtle thing, but it's a great gimmick. It just occurred to me, we've been watching Superstars lately with Kamala being the out of control monster.
Yeah.
Abdullah's way better at it.
Yeah. I wrote this Gary Hart.
Gary
promo
Hart is way better than Harvey Whippleman.
almost word for word here. He says Abdullah the Butcher is the most dangerous, fearsome wrestler to ever step foot into the ring. This man is not an ordinary being. He has reigned terror in the wrestling business for more years than any man. Nobody can say that they do not fear the baddest of the bad, the biggest of the big, the Black Terror that is going to change things at TBS. He's here for a purpose. He's here for a reason. Everyone who has shunned me, made light of me, the Black Monster will take care of everything because there's only one Abdullah the Butcher, and the real boogeyman has arrived at TBS. That was a great promo.
The only two things you left out were that at one point in there, Abdullah had been in the ring, like biting the middle rope.
Yes.
And in the middle of it, he stops and reaches out and grabs the mic and like screams into it.
Yes.
Until Hart puts the hood in his face to calm him down again. But then when he gets to the line about saying, he calls Abdullah the Black Monster. And he turns and he kisses Abdullah on the cheek.
Yes. He's his Black Monster.
And he moves on.
Yes.
It's like the reverse kiss of death.
I'm so sad.
I'm not marking you for a death with a kiss. Because you're going to kill my opponent, I'm kissing you.
I loved it.
Mike Rotunda versus Bob Emery. Emery keeps getting thrown outside. Sullivan's out there getting irritated with Steiner. Rotunda wins the butterfly suplex.
Well, the irritation was that Rotunda threw him outside because he wanted the heels, or his partners, shouldn't say heels. He wants Sullivan to beat on this guy outside. And Rick keeps throwing him back in because that's not nice. It's caused a rift.
It's caused a rift. Then we got a promo. Now, I love the Varsity Club, but this was overkill. So, Scott Steiner now has Spike, his pet Spike, which is literally a fly in a jar. And when Spike doesn't fly, he shakes the jar around to get him to fly. So they're bickering, all three of them. Well, Steiner and the other two are bickering, but it's constant. And whatever point Sullivan's trying to make, I have no idea what it was, because he's turned to talk to Steiner the whole time. It wasn't funny. It didn't make me want to see them get beat up. It didn't want to make me see them fight. It was just irritating, and it went on forever. So somewhere in here, Sullivan is able to mention that Ric Flair will be wrestling on TV next week. Steiner says he should wrestle Flair. He can beat him. Sullivan drags Steiner away, and Rotunda brags that he is the greatest TV champ of all time. And Steiner is now number 3 in the Varsity Club. I'm thinking, so behind him and Sullivan. And he says, because I'm number 1 and Dr. Death is number 2.
Yeah. Dr. Death is now apparently part of the Varsity Club.
When did this happen?
Well, I knew it was going to happen, but we haven't seen it. They're just telling us it's occurred.
Like almost on accident. They made it
Basically.
It's not even a big deal about Dr. Death being in the Varsity Club now. The Sheep Herders versus Jerry Price and Rick Allen. I took a piss break. The Sheep Herders won.
How can you do that in the middle of this match?
I had to pee.
They got new music. It's amazing. You had to pee. There was like 2 minutes left in the show.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
The music's amazing. They're about to go to the finals of the U.S. Tag Team Title Tournament and then jump ship to WWE and start licking kids in the head.
I don't know this, but I assume this music, it's a network edit, and they're coming out like Man Down Under by Men at Work.
I don't know. They've had music like every other show.
No, they've not had music until now.
They've had any song?
Not with the Sheep Herders. They came out, they held up the flag, and saluted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they had music, but I might be wrong.
I don't think so. Now, I did watch the Sheep Herders promo. They have artwork. And Rip Morgan is holding up a framed piece of art that shows the head of Cousin Luke and Cousin Butch and the head of Rip Morgan. And it's over a map of the United States of America as it is literally being flushed down a toilet. And they're all very proud of this. And they only had 40 seconds, but they are peak sheep herders for those 40 seconds. They're very upset with all these so-called patriots.
Dude, the best line was Butch making fun of the Midnight Express for, quote, making stupid faces and stupid actions as he's doing the bushwhacker walk.
Yes.
And going, ah! That's good comedy.
And they're still screaming about the U.S. tag titles as they go off the air.
Yep. David just cuts him off in the middle of it. Show goes off the air. This might be the last we see of the Bushwhackers. I'm actually not sure, but like, when does this tournament start?
I don't know when it starts, but there were commercials here for the next Clash of the Champions in the first week of December. Season's beatings.
Yes.
I'm almost positive the tournament finals are on that show.
All right, so they're gone before then.
Okay.
So we may never see the sheep herders again.
Oh, no. That is actually tragic.
Yeah. They never won the WWF Tag Team titles.
No.
They never won a single belt in WWF.
That is stunning.
But they still went into their Hall of Fame.
Should we go look at the tag team champions who did win and were not the sheepherders?
Let's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the show, everybody. And that's it from here. We're going to wrap it up. So I'll be back tomorrow with Dave and also Observer Live. And Vinny and I will be back on Tuesday, Retro Raw Nitro 19 years ago this week. And then Thursday for AEW versus NXT. And the weekly poll, which show was better?
Yes.
I believe right now, who's in the lead?
Well,
AEW, I think.
They won last time.
Yeah. And then you voted NXT the first time, and I voted a tie.
Yeah.
So AEW is currently in the lead, 2 votes to 1.
I see. Yes. All right, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll add these up. And then tomorrow as well, Filthy Tom Lawler, Ms. and Mrs., and the SmackDown Draft Show.